If you are trying to get ahead of every other wholesaler in the wholesaling real estate industry, or even in your market, there is a systematic way, really a 4-tier process where you can dominate any wholesaler in your market. And this is going to be the exact framework, the exact tiered system that you and I use in our local market, in our virtual market, and really around the country to go in and just destroy every other wholesaler in the market. And it's not a very conventional way that we go out here and dominate and do a lot of deals. It's a way that really nobody talks about. And the only people that kind of talk about this way, they're all behind $12,000 wholesaling programs and masterminds and yacht things. And the truth is that there's just a 4-step process plan of how really anyone can go out here and dominate in the market. And if you know exactly how to implement the systems we talk about, you're going to be there. And so what we're going to do today is really share about how you're not behind in your wholesaling, right? I think a lot of people think they are behind, they're struggling, they need help, or, there's just this extra thing. And the truth is you're not behind. What you really need is kind of a system in place to go out here and implement so you can go out here and crush it and have wholesaling real estate success. And so what we're going to do today is share our system for pretty much lapping any other wholesaler in your market, for you to get consistent deals, for you to close them easily, and most importantly, how to sell them for the top dollar with really no issue at all. So let's kind of just get straight into this. Let's talk about this because I feel like most wholesalers, I've said this a lot, but like they just work so much harder than they need to do, right? They are working 30, 40 hours, but they could work 10, 15 hours and get the same results if they just were smarter in the way they worked.
Yep.
And this is the truth about having a bike and a car. Like, you can go farther in the car. The same amount of driving, right?
Yep. Same thing. So smarter, not harder.
That's it. So you got to work smarter, not harder. So let's kind of talk about how to dominate a market and how to really make more money than anybody else. The first concept we need to talk about is the 2 ways, really. And so when I put up people who dominate in wholesaling, there's really only 2 of them. So if I go to any market, I look at the top wholesaler. They either do 1 or 2 things. This is it. Simple as this. And I let's kind of break them down and figure out which camp that you're in or which camp you want to be in here. So let's talk about number 1, the one you're probably thinking of. I call this one the Conqueror method, right? They call it the Emperor method, whatever you want to call it. But this is where you just kind of just run in there and you try to dominate. You get the most market share. You market more. You try to kill your competition and you try to make more money than all of them combined. And it's cutthroat and everything's terrible. And I hate everyone except for me. And it's me versus everyone. And it's kind of like a conqueror, right? You try to conquer every country and just dominate with brute force. And it's fine, I guess, to a point. Like if you're stronger than somebody else, you can just kind of ram through it. But when you go against an unmovable object, a larger force, it's very hard to conquer that, right? And this is the issue a lot of people have, right? It's like if I go to Chicago or Houston, I try to be the top wholesaler, they're instantly like, a lot of guys spending a lot more money than I am. And that's the main issue. But this is a way as people can make millions and millions and millions of dollars. There are wholesalers claiming to make $15, $20 million in revenue. I don't see it. I've never seen anyone scale up an operation like that correctly. If they're flipping,
not wholesaling.
I claim, I know a couple probably at 10 million, but that's revenue, right? You're netting you're netting like 3.5 million at the end of the day, right? You're not netting an insane amount. That's not how this business is supposed to work, right? And so this is a way to do it. This is not a way that I recommend. This is not a way that I'm telling you should be doing, but it's a way to get deals, right? It's for anyone starting out, go do it, make your 300K or whatever. But then you got to do something a little better, right?
Yeah. So always be careful. Anybody who just constantly inundates you with their gross revenue numbers. It is purposely misleading by design. 9 times out of 10, people are going to brag about a gross revenue number for one simple reason: to get you into their coaching program to share all the secrets. Here's a secret, guys. Very few people do $10 million plus in wholesaling. In fact, I've been doing this 21 years. I'm here to tell you, in a pure wholesaling format, it's very, very hard to do. It is a localized business. Anybody who says to do it, you make sure you separate out their coaching income, because I've yet to see it, and I've met a lot of people across this country. I'm not saying you can't, but you got to understand there's an economies of scale. Once you get to a certain number, the return on investment gets so narrow and the risk gets so high. That's why it doesn't work out. So in my opinion, you're better off doing it with a small team. But we want to teach you some techniques on how you can leverage using other people's system to actually dominate in your market. So just when you hear, oh, I did 10, I got 15 million, just understand it's just a big brag. I guarantee the number is about 70 to 80% cheaper than that. And then just try to find out what they exactly do. Once you do that and you know they're a player, then you can play with them. But like, stop using a gauge for like 10 to 12 million, because it doesn't exist in wholesaling. Pure wholesaling. I'm not talking about flipping. I'm not talking about coaching. You guys already know what a mess that is. So just keep in mind, and because a lot of you go, well, he does 10 million. I'm just trying to get my first $100,000. I'm like, apples to apples, buddy.
So just so everyone, this is the Conqueror's method. Do you really want to be the guy? And let me just say this right now. Even if you're trying to get your first deal, this method that we're going to teach you, this system, you got 0 dealers, you can get your first deal doing this. Do you want to be that guy? And me and Rick made this decision. We've tried all of these, okay, on our way to where we're at now, right? But we've tried the thing where we had offices, lots of employees in-house, walking in every day, doing our team meetings in the mornings. And at the end of the day, it turned out to me going in my car at 8:30, driving to the office at 9, leaving the office at 6, having a 1 hour lunch break, and you do that 5 days a week. And I ended up learning that was a job. It turned into a job. Yeah, I made a lot of money. We were making a lot, but like it was a job.
If you got to take a lot of vacations or you need recharge time, you need to ask yourself, what did I get in the wholesaling for? You can get all the stress you want in a corporate job, make decent money without all the headache. I'm just telling you, like, I tried that. It didn't work for me.
No.
And at the end of the day, when you got to ask your accountant how much money you've made, like, it takes a long time to get to that. And the problem is the time allocation. Do you want to have these meetings and all that? And at the end of the day, if you split it with 2 or 3 partners, how much are you really making? And most importantly, do you have the freedom of your time? I can honestly answer, when I did that, I didn't have it, and I wasn't passionate about doing it. And I know it looks really sexy to have like big giant operations, but it is a huge commitment. And remember, all real estate is local. There are some limitations to do it. And I find people that run like the bigger staffs like that, they are in much, much smaller markets. It will not last that way forever.
So we did very well with it, but we figured out that, number one, we can make more money in virtual wholesaling and, in-person and virtual wholesaling. And our only real big money makers was the acquisitions people. And they were never in the office because they're on appointments. And so it's like, what's the point?
What's the point?
And I found out that it's a lot easier just to put the marketing people virtual and then just have acquisitions people. They're happier working at home, and this is 2019, right? Early 2020. So it's a little different, obviously. But I realized like I was working a job, and I got into wholesaling not to have a job. And so like we have a studio, right? Little offices, but like, I mean, outside of like what we have everything for, without the studio and like the offices we have, like, I mean, I'm good with my home office. You're good with your home office at your place. Like, you don't need it crazy, and you can work less, right? And so we figured out that whole conquering thing, having 7,000 employees. I'm not here to work a job, guys. And, I like traveling. I like going around the world. Like, that's not good, right? And then you get stressed no. And so what we figured out was we kind of shifted in 2021, really, of a way to make a lot of money. And this is really came to fruition later too, but like we found a way, we called it the allies method. And this is the method that we really use basically in our systems for beating any other wholesaler and dominating a lot of markets, not most markets, but ones we do, because we're not in, I love World War II. I'm a nerd with that stuff. And so the two powers in World War II were the Axis powers and the Allies power, right? Those were the two powers, right? And basically, if you want a kind of quick history lesson, the Axis powers pretty much had one player, and the bad guys. And that country decided that, hey, I'm just going to conquer every other country by brute force.
Mm-hmm.
And they had one ally, which was the USSR. And they decided to break the Molotov Pact and basically said, you know what, we have one ally who's really, really crazy good. Let's go try to invade them because we're just so good, right? They got most of the Western Front done. And they're like, you know what, I'm going to go after my only ally. And now they're alone trying to conquer the whole world. Guess what happens?
What?
Every other country allied together and said, you know what if all of us together go against just the one country? And, you know, history shows that, like, you dominate more by even working with people you don't like the U.S. and the USSR. They don't like each other, right, in the 40s. But guess what? We don't like the other people a lot worse, right? So, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And they decided that, yeah, they're competition, right? But why don't we work together to destroy this really, really, really bad person? And guess what? They won. And that concept has worked in pretty much any military conflict, in a lot of business situations too, where you can work with people you might not like, and you end up dominating with working together. And that is something that works very well. And heck, it's even like now, right? If you're a small country and you're allied with the United States, like, you're pretty good, right? And so the allies method is the way that we use to make a lot of money in wholesaling and do a ton of deals. And so let's kind of break down exactly our 4 tiers of market domination, our 4 tiers of wholesaling domination for pretty much all these markets and really any market in the United States. Let's talk about this. Number 1, you have to start with your own conquering, right? And so if you're looking to scale up or do any deals or lap other wholesalers, you have to dominate. And this is basic marketing and wholesaling, right? This is you going out here and pulling lists, doing your marketing, you're drawing for dollars, you're reverse. I mean, just the regular stuff to get your first deal or first $100,000, right? Mm-hmm. It's no secret. Cold calling, SMS, really digital bandit signs, all these different methods that we teach you how to get wholesaling real estate deals, right? Like, that's how you do it. First, you have to kind of dominate your, at least, space of what you do personally, right? Get a deal. So now you're working full-time in this business. Now you're getting some deals, right? The point of step 1 is to get at least a deal every month, or maybe every other month, right? Just get some deals in, replace your regular income, and then we can start kind of getting crazier. One thing you can do here is we're not allied with anyone, so we don't really need to, we can be a little mean. And what I mean by this is something that me and Rick have done, even starting out, that is, it's considered dirty in the wholesaling real estate industry. It's very frowned upon, but at the end of the day, it's something me and Rick have used, and we continue to use. And we truly believe that it's all fair in love and war in a lot of situations, and it is legal. And I don't think it's a bad ethical thing to do. And it's a way you can make money. And I cannot sit here behind the camera and tell you something, and I feel in the back of my mind, I know there's actually this other thing I know that I wish I could tell you, but you know, I don't want to tell you because it's too good. I don't do that, right? I give the information. And so I've said this a lot. This has been frowned upon in every other group, but I just share it. Use your competition as data. They are the best data source possible. And what I mean by this, if I've told a lot of people this, but people who do deals, generally they have big egos, like massive egos. They think they're the best.
Wholesaling?
Yeah. I mean, shocking. How many people in wholesaling claim to be the king of something, right? I'm the king of marketing. I'm the king of dispositions. I'm the king of this. And it's this big ego thing, right? I'm the king.
That's all ego. And when you have to be at the tippy top and you got to let everybody else know, it's 100%.
I've told everyone, I'm not the richest wholesaler when it comes to income every single year. I'm not the guy claiming to do $15 million in revenue.
What's that mean if you're the greatest closer in wholesaling? You're spending too much time closing. You need to run a business.
Well, some people do, but I reviewed a guy. He's not the guy you're thinking of. He claims to be the king of acquisitions, not closer.
Oh, okay.
The king of acquisitions.
Yeah.
And I was like, I reviewed the guy. I'm like,
He's probably been
This
doing it
guy's not
20
good.
years, right?
I'm like, this guy's not good at all. I didn't think he was that
He's
impressive.
the king.
And he was like the king of acquisitions. I'm like, what? And this guy I've never seen in my life. I'm like, he had like 4 views on the video. I'm like, and like it was terrible. And I reviewed it live because I did a cold call thing.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's the king of. I'm like, it's crazy to me. And so so all I'm saying is, you're gonna have guys that kind of be the king or queen or whatever. Like I honestly don't care. The truth here in wholesaling is, if you think you're making these deals, you get a little ego. You think you're hot stuff. Now you have to use that as data and as your advantage. And so, for example, I used to do this, and this is bad. I don't know. When I was starting, I was 19. Starting on YouTube, I wanted people to actually take me seriously because I got comments like, "You're 19, you don't know anything, you're broke." And so I just said, "Hey, I bought this house. Here's the address. I sold it, and I made $70,000. I was 19. I made 70 grand.
Yeah.
Show me somebody else on YouTube at 19 doing that, sharing everything. Guess what happened? Oh, my buyers got stolen. People tried to talk to the sellers. Yeah. I used to share leads I was working on. People used to call and steal the deals from me. And I was like, dang, this sucks.
Yeah.
This sucks. Right. And so the issue is, and I used to do this like, hey, here's this address. I wholesaled, made $30,000. And it was one of my best buyers. Buyer got stolen. Right. Mm-hmm. And I learned I should probably be a little more careful with the way I do things. And so if you ever watch my early videos, I used to do that like crazy. And so I learned that, and then I started using that against other people. And it happened to me, so I did it to other people. Is that bad? I don't know. Hurt people, right? And so I used to go in Facebook groups, and I used to go to like the San Antonio, Texas Facebook group and said, "Who's the king of wholesaling in San Antonio?" And guess what happens? I'm the king in San Antonio. I do 30 deals every month. Yeah.
All by
right?
myself.
And here's my coaching mentorship link, right? Like that's how it always works. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm just using a random name. I don't know if this person's real, but it's like Taryn Rodriguez, right? I don't know, right? And so I used to look up. So I'm like, okay, Taryn Rodriguez. Let's look up his open corporates. Okay, this is his LLC. This is this. And guess what I did? I found his LLC where he's flipping houses, claiming to be 23. I look him up. I'm like, oh, wow, shocking.
Yeah.
He's buying like 12 properties a month and flipping them. It's pretty impressive, Mr. Torian Rodriguez. But guess what I did? I said, okay, well, let's do a sheet and let's look at, this is like 2021. And so, because I'm looking to virtually wholesale there. And so I go in 2021. I say, okay, these are the past 60 houses he's bought in. Wow. They're all 60 are only in 2 zip codes. And really only on like a certain area in that zip code. Wow. Guess what I did? I'm like, okay, those are only zip codes I'm doing. Yeah. Easy, right? And I'm telling you, like just doing stuff like that, it's an insane hack for wholesaling success. Because I learned in under really an hour of research, the best zip codes for the top wholesaler in San Antonio. And I couldn't really find where he wasn't showing HUDs or like checks of his assignment deals. So I didn't know, I couldn't steal his buyers pretty much, but I knew exactly what areas he was doing. It was clean. It was a clean wrap. So it was easy to do. Right. And I've done that in so many virtual markets, and I've just done so well doing this. And I'm basically stealing my competition's data, but it's public data. It's public records. And you can do really, really well in wholesaling by doing this. And so it's insane to me. And so I'll tell you this. All right. If you can use your competition's data, you'll do well good. And so one thing else I do is I love wholesalers that I call them going guru. And what I mean going guru is they actually do really well in their wholesaling business. Mm-hmm. And some coach convinces them that they're doing a disservice in the community by not selling
a disservice by not selling it.
By not selling a $15,000 course. Yeah. And so because the coach is like, wow, you're doing really well. Well, hop on this guy's podcast and then boom, put a course link and I'll get half of it for you and I'll be your mentor.
Yeah.
And it's another thing, there's coaches, and then there's the other coach that teaches him what to do, and he gets half the guy's revenue too for just mentoring him on how to be a coach. But I'm not saying this to go against gurus right now. But what I'm saying, though, I want everyone to understand is this is crazy. But they'll go on the podcast and they'll just give everything that they're doing. It has to be only for new ones. Hey, my name is Brandon Johnson, and I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm doing 15 deals a month. And they're probably going to be legit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, this is the list I do, and this is what I do, this is what I do. And they try to give their information out to sell the coaching. And when they're starting out, they actually give the good info. Then it gets bad. But the thing is, you're like, wow, this guy's in Minnesota, and he's doing this, and I'm in Minnesota, and this is the list he uses. I should probably use his list. On top of that, too, a lot of people, and I'll be honest with you, I'm guilty of this. And so let me show you. Is this bad? I don't know. I feel guilty doing this. But you know what? I have to give everybody the information that they need to know. And so let me show you this. If you just go to flipwithrick.com, and this is no promotion. I'm just going to show you guys this. So this is flipwithrick.com. If you just go here to success stories, let's pop it up. You have all these people that basically learned from us in wholesaling, right? And so like you can use a guy like Daryl here in North Carolina. Daryl makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in North Carolina. And he felt massively, I can't speak for him, but he felt so grateful that we taught him for free that he wanted to share on the podcast what works for him. I'd go there and hey, he's saying these lists work. Let's do it. And the cool part about the podcast that I do is these people legitimately, I'm like, this is not a joke. I verify all their HUDs. And so let's use this one. Let's use this guy, for example. He makes $1 million a year doing fire damage properties. And I was like, there's no way this guy's making $1 million a year. And he gave me his HUDs, and I'm like, wow, this is real. And he shared everything that he did to do well. Here's the problem. The YouTube, I had to take the video down because this competition was starting to send him videos of him. So I took it down, but it still is on Flip with Rick for you guys on here. But like he shares everything. Shout out to my boy. You know him.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy. Andrew. And Andrew, we just did a JV deal with Andrew. So shout out to Andrew. We just both got paid. How much did you get on that check? He got it.
Checks this week.
Yeah, he's been setting a lot of deals with us, so that's really cool. So shout out to Andrew.
It's like 10 grand or something.
Yeah, and so Andrew, we've been doing some deals with him. So shout out to him. But he shared everything he's been doing to do well, and it's amazing. We're doing deals with Andrew, so shout out to him. Got all these guys doing so well, and you can just basically they give out what they're doing, and I verify HUDs from them. Now I should stop probably saying that.
We're the only ones that
I don't want to get in trouble. But like, I'm not talking about our stuff. Don't steal their guys' stuff. But there's other people that hop on people's programs and they say what they do, and just copy their list. If they're in your market, go out here and do it and try it out.
So let me give you guys a couple hints on this because I've preached this forever. Number one, the thing we're taking advantage of are people's ego. The number one thing me and Zach teach you is you have to lose your ego to be successful in wholesaling.
Yep.
Wholesaling has this amazing thing to blow people's ego up. I see it. I've been in this business 21 years. It is the number one downfall. People think they're so big and bad and they're so good, including myself a long time ago. And I learned once I humble and I just did the work. I figured out virtual wholesaling by just fun. Here's what I typically look. I look for someone that's a little bit new and naive. They're in that grind stage in their first 2 years. They go on a podcast and they just tell the truth. Our favorite thing, just tell the truth. Well, once you do that, all you have to do is get on their cash buyers list, get on there early, and you can reverse engineer the entire thing. In fact, they do all the work for you. They've done all the marketing. They tell you where all the deals, the price points, the zip codes, all you have to duplicate it is. If you think you're stealing, welcome to Business 101. If you're dumb enough to put out a public broadcast and tell everyone how great and how much success you're doing it, listen, I got taken advantage of this. I personally did. by a very, very astute investor, and
By a
they took
lot.
full advantage of me. So like I know this, and you know what the guy told me? He goes, Rick, that's just how the business works. So I learned quickly is, remember, ego is to make you feel good, make you right, and give you fulfillment immediately. It will kill you in the long run because you give everybody away your blueprints and everything you do. So guys, if you think like you don't have to go in and like secretly hack and steal a computer, just get on their cash buyers list. Nobody vets them. Me and Zach teach you how to vet a list. It's the number one reason you have to do it. And with all these automated tools, all these people are so sophisticated, they don't even want to talk to their buyers anymore. Get on their list and reverse engineer it. I'm telling you, this works today like a charm. Every day we find someone else that puts in there. It's just so easy to do. And the worst is when they get manipulated by an influencer and they're like, tell me everything you're doing. And they genuinely tell you, and all of a sudden after a while, they're like, crap, everybody's in my market. Everyone's doing it. Why do you think everybody's in Port St. Lucie right now? I don't know. Maybe we had such wild success there.
That guy at the fire damage property, he had the same issue, which he will tell you. I'm not going to mention his name because he's already gotten hammered too much. But he gave everything out, and he found out that everyone started copying him. And then everyone, I asked, you want to go on the podcast and talk about it? He said, yeah, because he was, I'll be honest, he was trying to sell a course, and it sold well. But he said, this is so funny. He's like, he told me this. He's like, I make millions of dollars a year. Why am I selling like these programs and doing these Zooms for hours? And I just be wholesaling. I'm like, yeah, like that's why I do JV does. That's why I don't like do these crazy, stupid programs. He's like, man, and everyone's stealing all my stuff and they're showing it to my, I'm like, yeah, exactly. And so that's another point too, like why I had to stop being on my company's face. Because I used to be the face of the company because I used to be the acquisitions guy. I'd get off of it because people on the post, we used to have Zach Ginn on the name of the postcard.
Yeah, we had it actually.
And we had to take it off because everyone said, we looked you up. You're coming to make all this money. Like, you're going to take advantage of us. And so we had plenty of points with acquisitions guys that looked up Zach Ginn. And this is early YouTube still.
Yep.
21.
I used to get it 15 years ago.
And it got really bad. And so that's the main issue. And so just letting you guys know, you can use other people and do well. And so steal their buyers. If they're dumb enough to say, I wholesaled this house 123 Main Avenue for 40 grand, look at the buyer. Easy. It works.
And by the way, you can't get sued for it once they share their information publicly. By the way, I've been threatened to be sued multiple times. I'm like, sue me. It's public. Like, it's public information. Guys, once you take stuff and you throw it out on social media and everything, you think you own the rights, but the information's out there. Once it's out there, understand you've made yourself vulnerable. So I'm all about sharing information. Don't get me wrong. But like, there's a point where people get super cocky and ego driven. Those are the ones that you take advantage of because you can use their marketing track record to find out where the best deals are because it takes time, money, and effort. And if people are just going to brag about it, understanding most of the brags are coming with a course tied behind it. And understand that if you can find someone that doesn't have a course doing this, it's very, very golden. Now, you can work with them, help them out. I'm all about doing JV partnerships. So I'm just telling you, these people's egos are absolutely huge. The amount of bragging that goes on. And eventually they all wind up doing a course and then they peter out because you actually have to provide value. So just understand this is a hack. It works very well. Your competition, their data is your best friend to penetrate new markets.
Perfect. And so that's what you do. Now, number two, you kind of start with this is what we do. We kind of did something called expansion, which we did so good on our own market. I just started virtually wholesaling it. And I kind of used that same method and I just copied what other people were doing that did well. I'm just telling you, like, copying successful wholesalers is never a bad strategy in a new market, especially when you're copying their good areas. It's easy from there. And then you do virtual wholesaling. And then from there, you start doing well in other markets. I had that problem where I tried to do nationwide. Not good. So what I've learned is you just take a franchise, right? You choose a new market, you do well in that market. Then after that does well, then you do a new one. Then you hire systems out for each place. And then you get number three, which I basically call a massive investment. So this isn't nationwide, but this is when like you have 5 really good virtual markets going. Okay, I know it works. I'm going to go all in on the direct mail. Not all in on Facebook ads, PPC, PPL, SEO, toilet ads. I don't care what you call them. Direct mail, you go all in on the direct mail. And the biggest hack we found is if you can send postcards to lists that have historically worked well from texting and calling, your success rate is over 90%. Like if you do direct mail lists of the same list that you're getting consistent deals with, your success rate is insane. But when you send direct mail on lists that you haven't proven to do well with you on a monthly basis, it's over. And so it just, what I found is that this is when you start making big boy money, and big boy money is nice. But there comes a point where it's like, you can only get so much of a market. Like in our market, like you can only make $2-3 million at most if you just try to conquer everything. In Port St. Lucie, $3 million is like your cap in like wholesaling. Like
a lot of work.
And we have the biggest percentage of deal. Like there's no wholesaler doing better than us in that area.
Nope.
There's other wholesalers making millions of dollars still there too. The problem is it's not like I can get 90% of every wholesaling deal in Port St. Lucie. I can't do it. It's like getting a 90% market share for I don't know, burgers, right? McDonald's is pretty good, but they still don't have the largest one in the world, like better than everyone else. And so that's the issue. But what I learned is, okay, let's do subject twos in Port St. Lucie. Okay, let's start flipping houses. Okay, that's great, but then you're still capped. And what I learned was, this is the most mind-blowing thing I've ever had, was people on YouTube when I was starting out said, Zach, I see you're in Port St. Lucie. I started virtually wholesaling there, and I have a deal locked up, but I can't find a buyer. Can you help me out? And I said,
I get that all the time.
Said, there's no way you locked up a deal on a probate, because I do the probates. How did you get a probate locked up? It was just good timing from them. And we split a $40,000 check. One of my first JV deals, I'm like, this guy on YouTube sent me a $40,000 deal. We split it 50-50. I make 20, he makes 20. What? I would have never gotten this deal if I didn't have this YouTube channel. I was like, whoa.
Guys, keep in mind that the strategy on your screen right here is me and Zach teach you to go out and use government list and go get the most highly motivated sellers you can possibly deal with. Why? Number one, it's free. Doesn't mean it's easy. And number two, that's how you cut your teeth in wholesaling, on learning the journey of talking to sellers, how to negotiate, how to write contracts, and do everything. We want you to do that at the beginning, because if you can do that in the beginning without spending money on marketing channels, you become very good at your craft. Once you can learn how to make money, get your first deal, get to your first 5 deals, and you find an area where deals work all the time, that's where we can teach you the simple strategy of going all in with direct mail. A lot of people knock direct mail. I've been doing direct mail for a long, long time. If you know exactly how it works and you understand it, you make a ton of money. The only people scared of direct mail are the ones that aren't good at it and don't know what they're doing. Here's a stat. 70 to 80% of the biggest wholesalers in this country get most of their deals from direct mail. Do you understand? It's legal. You can scale it. It works. They're not scared to spend money on it. I don't want you starting out doing it, because that's what gurus teach you. It's usually a disaster to do it that way. You've got to learn and fight for wholesaling. And once you have the resourcefulness and you go out and you're door knocking and you're doing a reverse drive for dollars, and you understand how to market, how to acquire these properties and dispose of them, then you can put money, invest in areas where you've already found success. And that's what we're talking about, going all in. So if understanding the big players, almost 70% of their deals come from direct mail. Eventually, at some point, you should incorporate it if you want to go all in your local market, and especially if you're doing virtual markets.
Yes, but this is stage 3, obviously.
I know.
So going back to that JV deal we did, right? Pretty much what we did was people on YouTube started sending us deals, and I'm like, wow. So like if we had like a 40% market share of every deal in Port St. Lucie, the 60%, I was getting an extra 10% from those virtual guys just sending me deals because they only knew me on YouTube. It's like, wow, I'm making so much money just working with, and then, that it turned into sell my paper, and then I'm doing deals all over the country, and it's very cool. And this is kind of that allies method where I was finding other wholesalers and I was just basically leveraging them, and we did deals together. So you got to remember, for companies, it's like if you're able to have people do things at leverage and scale, the companies make more. And it's really hard to associate like building up a company with wholesaling because like it just a lot of it doesn't translate, but this part does translate. If I could find, like, for example, if I could find 10 people, VAs, to cold call for me, they'll do better than me just cold calling by myself, right?
Yep.
Simple business concept. If I could find 10 people to drive for dollars for me, it'll do better than just me driving for dollars or a team of 3, right? And I started learning even if I have to give half the deal up, which, let's be honest, if I have a wholesaling deal and we do everything, the amount of money I spend on the direct mail is insane. The amount of money I spend on the acquisitions guy, because that's over 12%. I have to pay the dispositions person, and then I got to pay the marketing. It's like I'm probably giving up a quarter or 30% of the deal already. So if I just give up 50%, like it's only an extra 20%. That's not terrible. And these are leads I would have never gotten. Here's the most part. You have never gotten any of these deals coming in from the JVs. You wouldn't even have any of them if it wasn't for them sending it to you. And so it's free money. And so we've called this leverage lists, right? And basically this is a concept where you find your competition and you don't go against them. You work with them to go out here and find deals. And I'm just letting you, like, we practice what we preach. And so I don't go tell you this and not do it. Like, I don't tell you to cold call and I don't cold call, or my team doesn't cold call, right? I don't tell you, like, this is something, if you've watched my journey in the past 5 years on YouTube, like I've been doing it forever, right? And I've made a lot of money doing this, and I still make a lot of money doing this. And it's very, very impressive. Like, I had to make sure I can make a lot of money doing this before I started doing it to everyone around. And it's great. And so use your competition, use them to find your deals, and you can just destroy it. And so the number one thing is like, wait a second. What do you mean? Right? I'm telling you guys, if you could just go in the comments section of our live streams, of our videos, on our Facebook groups, on my Instagram, anywhere associated with our thing, because I'll be honest with you, it gets very weird if you try to JV with people outside of our followers. I'm not saying that in a bad way. Because I've tried it. They're all very snaky with things, and not all of them, but a lot of them are. Oh, you got to join the mentorship to JV with me, or you have to do this to. And I don't like it.
I love the requirement.
I love the requirement, and it gets a little weird. And
I do everything for everybody, but you have to be part of my mentorship to do a deal with me.
Yes, and then, well, I'm just talking about the students you're JVing with, those people, and then like, okay, well, all right, well, you sent me the deal, great. Now we put a novation on it, and it's like, what? Like, yeah, we put a novation on it. It has a 50-50 shot. If it doesn't, your whole deal's blown up. And I see a lot of people having the situation where it's like, if I have a deal and I send it to some guru trained student, and the guru trained, and I locked it up, but I give it to him to dispo, and he can't dispo it, guess what he's going to do? He's going to throw it on a novation. And the novations, it's 50-50 the thing blows up or not. It is.
Worse than that.
And so this JV student, if the deal blows up, whatever for him. But for you, he destroyed your entire deal you worked hard on. And that's the issue I have. And at least if you have a guy trained from freewholesaling.com, like at least you know if the deal doesn't work out, they'll tell you it doesn't work out, and then boom, you're good. That's why I like some of my paper. That's why I tell people JV with us. Because if you send a deal through us, we tell you, hey, it works or it doesn't. If it does, we'll send you a JV, we'll dispo it. But I'm telling you, just work with other wholesalers, right? And so like those guys you saw on the podcast that I did there, they were going out here and they JV with you guys, and they do 5. You're JVing guy that, does 10 deals a month, can JV with those people, and they're great. And they actually have buyers. But the truth is, find your competition and you find them and use them for deals. And so how do you find your competition, right? We have over 195,000 subscribers on all of our channels, right? And so again, we have 4 YouTube channels. We have the Flip with Rick YouTube channel. We have the Zach Ginn YouTube channel. We have the Rick Ginn YouTube channel. And then we have a YouTube channel called Wholesaling Houses for Real, which basically clips and things like that, right? And the cool part is, if you combine all those channels, it's 195,000 subscribers.
That's crazy.
That's a lot. It's a lot of subscribers. And you can go on any of the live streams we have on there, any of the comments and all the videos we have on there. And think about it. Like, do you think you can do a deal with at least one person out of 195,000? I think so. Heck, we have our Facebook group. It's called Wholesaling Houses for Real. over 140,000 people in wholesaling houses for real. And you can DM those guys in that Facebook group and gals. You can comment on people's posts. You can make posts. Like, you think you do a deal out of 140,000 people? Yeah, of course you can.
Yep.
And if you combine 140,000 and basically, like, you have 220,000. Sorry, I'm over 330,000, right? 320,000 people. Like, that's a lot of people. And you just need one this month out of it's crazy. And so if you can go out here and do one deal out of someone out of 300,000, like, come on. Like, it's easy. And so I'm telling everyone, like, go all in on this. And here's the big issue, right? We see these TikTok wholesalers coming in. This wholesaling industry, there's just so many people coming into it, and it keeps growing. I'm just being honest. It grows every day. I see it all the time. And the main issue is you can go in a corner and crawl about it, or you can go work with those new wholesalers and at least get some deals from them. And I have a lot of people that in Flipboard Plus, we've kind of been teaching this method for like a couple of years now in Flipboard Plus, and we have a lot of people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just JVing.
Yeah, just on the inside.
Just on JVing with Flipboard Plus people, not with people outside. And there are people that do it outside. There's one guy, he came to our last event, and you'll see him when you do the recordings. Makes $250,000 a year JVing with people.
Makes sense.
Just from our channel. It's
Makes sense.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. And so what I'll tell you is, you just got to let people know who you are and JV with them. Now, it's a lot easier if you're doing like 5 deals a month and be like, hey, I'm doing 5 deals a month. You need help with your dispo. I'll help you out.
Yep.
That's the best. But guys, like, we understand, like, and this comes at the end of the day, right? We get attacked, right? Yeah, I got attacked the other day. This guy said, oh, Zach's doing this to, he makes his YouTube channel to do affiliates. And I'm like, bro, I make more money on one deal from a JV than most affiliates I have. And some of the bigger affiliates, maybe I have to do like 2 or 3 deals, but like in a week of me doing deals with people inside of Flipboard Plus, really just looking at JV deals, 1 week of JV deals is more than all my affiliates combined for the entire month. Right. And just being honest, why I make this channel, like, I make so much money doing deals on this channel. They're like, people are like, why is that giving out for free? What's the catch? And they're like, the catch is affiliates. That's what the gurus say. That's what all the gurus say. It's funny to me. And I'm like, do you realize how much money I make doing JV deals with people? It's crazy.
No, it's a lead stream that works. But like, guys, you gotta understand.
I wish I could show the checks that Andrew sent us, or, we got some other people in there that send us inside of Flipboard Plus.
But we've been building this funnel for over 21 years, like, total. I mean, Zach's got 7-8 years, and like, working with other people is how you make money. Like, I love people go, oh, yeah, all you guys do is do affiliate sales. I'm like, number one, it's the same cost they buy it from me or not. Number two, I show them how I use it in my business. And number three, if you think I actually make a living off affiliate income, I just laugh. Like, if that's your goal as a guru, like, knock yourself out. If you want to go get the pennies, you might as well go be a realtor. I just find people like, you're just doing it for affiliate. No, we do deals. Like, that's what we do. And we've set it up. You guys know how much it costs the market. We do our local markets, virtual markets, and then we use this channel to connect with you guys, teach you how to do deals, give you the truth on wholesaling. That's how we truly make our money. I know that's like really hard to wrap your head around, but like, affiliate. Guys, the affiliate stuff just keeps the channel up and running. Like, it costs money to run this. Like, there's people behind the scenes, but it's just me and Zach. We just get in front of here, we shoot it, and we use people to help keep things moving along. But I'm telling you guys.
Well, the point of the affiliate, just so everyone understands this, and I'll say this first and foremost for all my guru haters, you got to realize that it costs tens of thousands of dollars a month to run freewholesaling.com. I have terabytes of data usage that I have to pay for by the gigabyte for people to go watch freewholesaling.com. For example, the average person that joins freewholesaling.com, which we have tens of thousands of people every single month, they watch 16 hours. The first two videos in wholesaling.com are 16 hours of our live event in 4K.
Yeah.
16 hours. That's a lot of data that I have to pay for. Number one, affiliate will just pay for that. I also have 4 full-time editors that work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So that's 24 hours a day. And I have to pay them a very good salary, benefits, and all that stupid stuff to edit videos for everyone on the 4 channels. So the affiliates, like, it's not that. But the most important reason why I do affiliates, and every guru goes after me for this, I'll tell you the honest truth. I'm the top affiliate for pretty much most softwares. If not, I'm top 2.
Correct.
The reason I do this is because I'm the top affiliate and they kind of need me now. Pretty much all the affiliates need me that I use. I can use them and tell them what to do. I'm saying that in the nicest way possible.
Yeah.
What I mean by this is I can go to the head of, for example, I will say Deal Machine, and I'll say, hey, you need to go out here and try to figure out how to do probates. And guess what they do? Roger that. They work on the probates. I tell them, hey, it'd be really cool if you can make skip tracing cheaper. And they're like, how cheap? I'm like, free. And then they get all the credit for it, but then so I give all these softwares, I tell them what they need to start doing. And it's not because they're out of touch of wholesaling, but I try to help them out. I've helped PropStream, Batch. I've helped all these softwares out.
And we're hard on them too.
Like we're very hard on them.
We make like crazy requests. That whole skip tracing, we pushed that for a long time. And guess what, guys? Instead of us going like, how can we make money and sell the biggest, fattest course possible? We let people that are experts in data and people we've used in our business for years, not months, years. And we let them go find the best way to solve a problem that you guys have. And that's how we do it. So us, by having a bigger voice doing it, it actually bodes well for affiliates. We do not spend time with like affiliates we feel don't have a real impact on the market or don't benefit you guys, because I've watched all these companies come and go a million times. Guys, you all know the story. I'm a wholesaler. I decided to own my own data company, and now I'm going to figure that part out. That's not a good wholesaler. Like, a good wholesaler always stays in the game, and then they use other companies to find the best product that solves the most problems. We've never done it from a financial standpoint. We've always done it like, how can we offer the most benefit?
But if I can control pretty much, not control, but if I can have a huge hand in how the software companies do it, that's the point of why I'm doing it, right? And that's the truth. And so the reason is it pays for the stupid data I have to pay for and all my editors, and I can control the companies. And so basically when I have an idea of what to do, for example, me and Rick kind of came up with this insane idea, and I don't have to invest $2 million into making it real. I can have the data company do it for me, and they'll do it for free.
And we can keep doing wholesaling deals, and I don't have to own a software. Guys, owning a software company is not for the faint of heart. And that should be your passion in everything you do every minute waking of your day.
Before Deal Machine came out free skip tracing, I this is bad, but I leveraged 2 data companies you probably know about to pretty much reduce their skip tracing by half. And I basically not force them, but very gently. And one of the biggest reasons for them doing this because I told them to do it, and they reduced all their skip tracing. And so what I do is I try to help the consumer out now, all this stuff. So, and there's a lot of bad data here, but like, I don't get into this. But the reason why we do it is the amount of JV deals we do. And it's just, it's really nice. And there's probably going to come to a point in the next 2 to 3 years, which is very uncomfortable for me and Rick, where we're going to make most of our money doing JV deals and not even wholesaling in our local or virtual markets, it gets a little weird. Then the gurus are going to go after me for that. But I mean, I can triple making millions of dollars right now. I can triple the amount of money I make by working the same in the next couple of years by growing the following and doing more deals with people.
Yeah.
And so if that's where you want to go attack me, go after it. But like, guys, I feel guilty making all this money doing JV deals with you guys. And so I'm trying to tell you what I'm doing. And I'm trying to give you all the information that I'm doing. Okay. That's why I have people like, I had one guy, he did a JV with a guy, he made 40 grand. And he said, Zach, I feel bad. You connecting me with this guy. Cause I connected a new wholesaler to this good wholesaler. And he's like, he felt guilty. He's like, can I pay you? I said, don't pay me. Like, just keep it. Like, I don't even need a part of that deal. I'm just trying to help everyone out. And so karma always works well. So just FYI, use our channels, use our Facebook group, and network with people. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you go
if
ahead.
we were solely in this for the money, do you know how many people on a weekly basis reach out to me and Zach and go, can I send you a check? You introduced me to someone. I made a crap load of money. I feel guilty. I've never paid you a dime. And what do I say? I go, take the money, take care of your family, go make someone feel special, help them out of charity. And then if you get a great deal, it comes across your lap and you need some help, reach out to us. And I would love to partner up if that's what you want to do.
Here's the funniest one. I get people do that to me too. They're like, I feel guilty. I feel bad. Can I give you a check? I said, send $2,000 to St. Jude. Guess what they do? They never send the check to St. Jude. Never.
I can't.
They'll send me a check, but they'll never send it. I'm like, come on, man.
Well,
and when it comes down to them sending the check, they're like, I'll just keep it myself.
Well, listen, it's their right to do it, but like I can't stand when a wholesaler tells them you must donate X amount of money. Guys, listen, in the beginning, I'm here to tell you, you got to dig yourself out of your own hole. So I'm all about helping people, but like if you're struggling to pay your rent, your mortgage, you're struggling to put food on the table, take care of your family first, because it's just like the oxygen mask in the plane. If it's going down, you got to put it on you first before you help the kids out. You can't be helping other people out if you can't help yourself out and your family out. So always take care of yourself first, even during tight times. I'm just telling you, because once you can get to that point where you get financially free, then you can help everybody out. But just helping one or two people along the way, you're better off getting things right in your own house and your own family than helping people out as much as possible.
Exactly. So what's our system? I'll be honest with you, the best JV system is when they find the deals and then you use your buyers list, which is something that it's just the easiest thing. Because if I already have all my buyers and the guy says, hey, I got locked up a deal.
Yeah.
Here's my buyer, work together and I'll get half of the 20 grand. And yeah, they might steal the buyer, but at least I got 25 grand.
Yep.
And the buyer will still buy my deals, hopefully. Right. And that works really well. And so if I find one good new wholesaler, I can usually get 100 grand out of them in JV deals, like 200 grand of deals, but like a split it, I make 100 grand. If I have a new guy that wants to work with me.
Yeah.
And so you're only at most going to make 100 grand off of a new wholesaler that wants to work with you if they send you 4 deals.
By the way, when I first wholesaled, I gave up at least $250,000 in my first 2 years because I didn't know how to do dispo. I just really sucked at it. And Rick, you let other wholesalers take advantage of you. First of all, I'm still in the game 21 years later. And all the people that they're none of them are in the game anymore. So sometimes it's okay. So if I was okay in the beginning, I'm just trying to you're never going to get killed just taking a profit. And some people just want to put 5, 3, 10 grand in their bank account. And if you can help them get there and minimize their risk and make it a smoother transaction, they'll go with you. I went for 2 years for outside help doing JV deals. And I was happy doing it. At the end, I'm like, okay, I got to fix this. But I'm telling you, if I'm okay with it, he was okay with it, we do it with you guys, then you should consider using this method.
I'm telling you. And so part of this is if you're a guy that's doing 2 or 3 deals or a gal doing 2 or 3 deals every single month, I would go out here and tell people, hey, I'm doing 2 to 3 deals a month. And if you need help, go to the channel, on the YouTube channel, try out people in the Facebook group, JV with them there. Now, if you're a person who has 0 deals and you still want to do this, it's like, whoa, I promised in the beginning, I'll tell you if you have 0 deals, what I can do to help you guys out. You can't really be that guy. No one, I have told people this. If a person who hasn't done any deals and you locked up a deal and you need help dispoing and this other guy hasn't done any deals at all, it's probably not a guy who should send a deal to sell it for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not a good idea. What you can do instead is something else. So you have to give a little bit else that's valuable. And so what I say is have a new wholesaler in your market that is super beginner, scared to death to cold call. I'll be honest with you, about 10% of new wholesalers are legitimately scared to death to cold call. They won't.
I agree.
Not me, but whatever. Scared to death to cold call. But they'll drive for dollars. They'll do all these things. So what I'm going to tell you to do is, this is another amazing method, is have that person that's scared to death to cold call, have them drive for dollars and put sticky notes on houses.
Yep.
Put 100 a week. That's 400 a month. And what you do instead is you skip trace the list, which is free,
Easy.
dmzach.com.
Yep.
and you cold call them, or you text them, or you answer the sticky notes, and then you close the deal, and then you both work on getting the deal sold. Now it's like, Zach, that's a lot of work for you to do. It is, but you got to remember, I don't drive for dollars. Like theoretically, that's a deal I would have never gotten unless I had him drive for dollars for me. And the power is not having one, but in having five. And it's really easy to find 5 new wholesalers. And if you're in Dallas, there's 5 new wholesalers probably just watched a TikTok this morning. Okay. And they want to get into this business. The thing is, if you can have 5, that's 500 every single week. That's 2,500 leads, sticky notes being put out that come to you inbound. You can close one deal out of 2,500 sticky notes. Of course you can. And you theoretically could make 40 grand. You split it. That's 20 grand that you would have gotten that you've never had unless you leverage this system. And so I said, you got 5 kids doing 40 sticky notes a day. That's 1,400 sticky notes pretty much. That's an insane amount. Just think about that for a second. That's 1,400 sticky notes a week. If you can just find new wholesalers in your market. It's, guys, if you're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you can probably find 3 in the next couple hours on my Facebook group, right? It's insane. And so you just have to be willing to work with other people. And it's funny, right? When I talk about this on a live stream, people go out here and they will start networking in the comments. But when I do other live stream, they won't network. You have to network every single time I do a stream.
You can't stop.
Every single post, you got to network. You got to I'm telling people, let people know who you are. Please do it. If people don't know who you are, they're not going to go reach out to you. And so either you can let people know who you are or just make a post and let people come to you. That's it. Social media is, I'll tell you this, in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, heck, even up to 2014. What was the way of, hey, Rick, nice meeting you. You're a wholesaler. Great. Guess what I would do to exchange information? You give me a business card. Business card is not a thing anymore.
It's not.
It's not a thing. It's the stupidest thing ever.
The
new Instagram card is your Instagram handle. Yeah. Sorry, the new business card is your Instagram handle. And it might be your Facebook, whatever it is. That's it. Hey, what's your Instagram? Let me go click it and follow you. Boom.
My gram.
Because no one wants to give out their phone number to everyone, right? But they'll give out their Instagram. And I tell everyone, create a business Facebook and a business Instagram. Usually, because Facebook owns Instagram, you can link them together.
Yeah.
And you just have a personal. Instagram's really easy having multiple accounts.
You call it IG.
IG, yeah. Have a business. Yes. A business Instagram and a business Facebook. And from there, that is your wholesaling thing. And I'm not telling you to be like us. Don't do live streams and all that. Like, trust me, you'll start and you'll stop. It's not fun for you starting out. You have to have a crazy
Instagram
passion.
Just an express version of Facebook.
No, it's different.
I know. I get it. It's like
okay.
It's more videos, right?
No, it's yeah.
This is the old talking to the young.
But because you can message people and all. And so here's the thing, guys.
I get hammered
Instagram,
on that
Facebook,
thing.
make a business one, and just start working with other wholesalers. It's insane. And I'm telling you, if you're willing to go out here and work with other people, it'll do really well. And so the most purest way of doing this is it's just called leverage, right? If you can leverage other people to work with you, collaborate as an ally, you can dominate in a war, which is wholesaling is war. Wholesaling is a battle, right? It's a lot easier. It's as simple as that. There's never been one empire that just tried to conquer everything, right? Roman Empire is pretty good. They had their issues. That's pretty much the only one that you've seen, right? The problem is when the empire gets too big and you try with no allies, it doesn't do well, right? So you work with other people, get alliance, you'll do good. Now, the most important thing about this, and I have to let everybody know, this is really important.
He says,
no, this is the most important part.
Out.
You have to become a man of your word.
Uh-oh.
I will tell you this.
Or woman.
A woman of your word, too. If you say I'm going to 50-50 split with you, and you end up trying to steal the deal from someone else.
With your junk fees?
All this stupid stuff. You're done. You're done. Your reputation is everything to yourself. That's why I haven't had one JV deal where I've screwed a person, or they can even show proof that I screwed them.
Yeah.
Now, The only people that complain about a JV deal are people that send me a deal and I say, that's not a deal. I'm not going to send my valuable buyers through and waste their time. And then they're not going to trust me anymore. And it's kind of mean the way I'll explain it to someone, but it's like, you don't have a deal. No, but it is a deal. We don't think it's a deal. And we do a lot of, like we do a lot of deals. So no. And I remember one guy, I can't say it, it's mean. It's in a market where we'll do like 3 or 4 deals a month there, like not a crazy one. And I told the guy, I'm like, I do 4 deals a month in this virtual market and you do 0. I think I know more than you about if it's a deal or not. And that was mean to say. Maybe it was an ego thing, but I'm like, dude, I've done enough deals in this market to know if it's a deal or not. You do not have a deal. Stop trying to convince me it's a deal. Real estate deals, you don't have to convince somebody it's a deal. You're not selling that, like, it's a deal or it's not, right?
Yeah.
And the truth is, if you're a guy or gal that wants to screw somebody, you'll do 1 or 2 deals and then it's over. It's over.
Everybody will know about you. The title companies will tell everybody. My title companies I work with, they have like a little hidden blacklist, and they'll tell me, they go, listen, don't do the deal. Even buying a deal from that guy, he's going to try to backdoor you. So I've been through it with hard money lenders. I've done these deals. Me and Zach have done it. And people like, oh, I'm sorry that we have a processing fee of $7.95. I'm like, stick in your processing fee. I will never do business with you again. If you really need that $795, 50-50. I don't know what part, well, less my expenses. No, 50-50. I have expenses. You have expenses. We split it. If people can't do that, because once you start throwing in like the little fees, it's not 50-50 anymore. And you didn't honor your word. And honestly, I find people that will do it once, they will push it all the way to the end. And they're going to wind up on a list where nobody wants to do business with them. Don't be that person.
I agree. And so be a man of your word. Then again, this comes out to doing the right thing. If you have a deal and it's not a deal, but you still want a JV, don't do it. Unless you can actually, guy sends you a deal and it's actually a good deal, go through with it. Don't try to push bad deals. If you push a bad deal to your good buyers, you're the boy that cried wolf and they won't look at your deals anymore.
Won't work.
This is really important. If you JV with somebody, it's a bad deal, your buyers will never respect you ever again. If you just constantly send trash, because you're the trash guy. Okay, that's it. It's never going to work, right? You can't go and try to sell a Nike shirt for $1,000, right? Because they're $20 shirts, right? You can't trick a guy into doing. Maybe once, if it's a new guy, he doesn't know what Nike is. You're never going to. Now I could sell a Louis Vuitton shirt for $1,000, but like if you send stuff that isn't worth it and you try to sell it for a crazy price,
and here's what happens is all wholesale markets has that guy or gal that basically never honor their word. They never live up to a JV split. And guess what? All the crap goes to them because they're perfectly lying and stretching the truth to buyers, sellers, JV partners. It doesn't matter. They lie to title companies. In fact, I have 2 in my local market. I've been doing this so long. They've basically been blacklisted at almost every title company because they make all transactions so stressful. Like a perfect example is they try to sell a wholesale deal with the homeowner still living in it, and they tell the homeowner they can stay 6 months. And then when the cash buyer finds out that the homeowner's going to stay for 6 months, everybody starts lying. Like people start screaming at each other. Listen, if you don't want to do deals like that, stand up and make sure you get a good deal. And then make sure someone's going to honor their agreement. They do it and then put it in writing. But if you become that slippery slope person, you're going to wind up with all the crap deals. Everyone's going to be pissed at you. It's extremely stressful. And that's not how wholesaling should work. So once you go down that slippery slope, though, they go all the way to the bottom and nothing ever stops them from doing it. I promise you guys have people in your market that do that. We do. Don't be that person.
I agree. Do the person, do the right thing. So dominate with the allies, not with the competition, not with the enemy. And I promise you, this is the way of the future for wholesaling. It just gets, this business gets getting bigger. You can work with other people. You can do so well. The amount of wholesalers that lose out deals because they just can't sell it is sad. And it goes to a realtor. And I'd rather you just keep in the wholesaling industry, right? Yeah. That's the point. And so we're pretty excited for this method. I think we've talked about this for a while. I just kind of put it together for you guys here so you can do well. But networking is the thing. It is the key. It's the thing that we're always big on, right? And that's why we decided to create a community inside of what we do. It's called Flipboard Plus, right? We've been talking about that forever, and we found more people inside of that JVing and doing well than ever. And you can join Flipboard Plus for free, FYI, right? By just sending me JV deals. So the point is, for me to do more JV deals, I said, let's create a community. And to be in the community, either you can pay a fee just to pay for the cost of it, because we have events and all this stuff, or just it's free if you just do JV deals with me. And it promotes people to do JV deals with me. And so we're excited. Again, we've talked about this forever, but Escape the Matrix 2024, you already saw the recording of 2023's Escape the Matrix. It's going to be one of the largest wholesaling networking events specifically for wholesaling. It's free for Flipboard Plus. So you can come to the event in Orlando 2024 for free if you are a member of Flipboard Plus. So that's pretty cool. And so it's going to be me and Rick and 6- and 7-figure wholesalers all together. And it's going to be really the only opportunity where you can get in front of a 7-figure wholesaler for free who has no agenda, but he wants to work with you. And you can join for free by sending me a JV deal.
Our only agenda is to get you successful in wholesaling.
It's true.
So you can give back and do deals with us if you decide to do it. So guys, instead of waiting till like right before the event, you might as well get the 6 month, really 4 months ramp up to it. That way we can work with you, connect with you 4 times a week, do DMs. And listen, our community is for people that want to be successful in wholesaling. I do not sell a course. I don't do it. Gurus, oh my God, they're selling something. It is not required. You go over to freewholesaling.com. All me and Zach do is add to it.
Go to freewholesaling.com, get a deal, and then send me a JV deal and get it for free.
Yeah.
If you want to get Flipboard Plus for free, just send me a deal. It's not that hot, but most people don't want to do that. They want to come to the event, and pretty cool. And so we have it in Orlando. I get everyone asking like, "Oh, Zach, you never told me about the last event." That's the biggest thing we get.
No.
You never told me about it. So I'm telling everyone 4 months before. Late October, Escape the Matrix 2024. We're gonna get the dates hopefully in the next couple of weeks. It's gonna be one of the largest wholesaling events. We're pretty excited about it. It's gonna be in Orlando, Florida, and you can join now at Flipboard Plus. So go to Flipboard Plus to join now if you want, or send me a deal, and you're good to go. If you've sent me some deals, just don't DM me. Email support@flipboard.com. Just say JV deal done or something like that, and send the HUD of the deal we did together, and we can just verify it from our team, and we'll just give you the free Flipboard Plus. But again, anybody can join it for 37 days for free. So we have 7-day free trial and then a 30-day refund on there. That's 37 days to get for free of Flipboard Plus. So I tell everyone, just hop in for free for 30 days if you want, just to try it out. Network with some people in there, and then if you leave, but probably not going to network you again. But 37 days free, Flipboard Plus. Check it out. And obviously, it's free. You can cancel anytime. And it's pretty cool. But the point is, I'm trying to create more of a community. I'll be honest with you, and I will be completely transparent. People inside of Flipboard Plus are more inclined to do deals with people inside of Flipboard Plus, which is nice. Also, I'm more inclined to answer your questions about deals because I have the time to do it. For example, I think we're buying 2 deals next month from Flipboard Plus students, and we're giving them equity, right? I think one's a subject to deal and one's are they both subject to deals?
No, one's a cash deal.
We're buying a cash.
And we got 2 or 3 other ones. So it's, guys, the thing is, they just get more. They're just more committed to the training. And listen, if I don't give you the truth and show you how to actually get real wholesale deals, I can't partner with you.
That's true.
So there's the difference between me selling you a course. Most course sold to you is about getting your money, confusing you for 90 days, and then most of you are going to give up. So the only difference to me is that we just hit you with the truth. So instead of waiting, if you want to go to a wholesaling networking and training event, it is not a pitch fest. I have nothing to sell you there other than you working with me and us splitting deals. And we're just straight to the point. And keep in mind, to me, it's the biggest wholesaling network and training event, because most of the other ones, there's plenty of events around the country, but they're almost all pitch fest. If you don't know what a pitch fest is, it's when a bunch of gurus to get together and go, listen, you sell this, I'll sell that. And at the end of the day, we all make a lot of money and everybody walks away confused. That's just the truth of how the business works. I've been doing this 21 years. I can't stand when I go to an event. I give me 10, 12 speakers, but if you're going to sell me 10 or 12 programs, you're going to be, you're just, your head's going to spin by the time you're done, because that's 10 or 12 different methods. There's a million ways to do wholesaling. If you want to learn how to network and train, this is what we do. And we're the only venue that's growing and getting a big follower doing it specifically about wholesaling. And here's the really cool part. We'll teach you creative financing. We do lease options. We love it. Our core is wholesaling. So if you want to go without the pitch fest, without the boat ride, without the fancy dinner, we just get down to brass tactics at the end of the day, because we bury our ego and we just do deals. I don't care what guru, there's no guru that's ever going to endorse us. And if they do, you probably want to run. So I do not subscribe to any of their theories. Most of them are good people, but like right now, this whole novation thing that's ran its course for the last 2 or 3 years, it's one of the reasons why we have so many issues and pressures on wholesaling, because it's wrong. So learn how to do wholesaling right, networking, training, come out to the event. You have a good time.
Cool.
How can you go wrong in Orlando?
Perfect. All right. So let's answer some questions and see what I can do to help you guys out. Shout out to Luca. He's doing a lot of deals. Luca, I think it's jvsluca.com. He put his link on there, but he says, copy my list. I'm in DFW. He's doing a lot of deals. And he's also doing deals in Georgia. So it's pretty cool.
A great guy.
Shout out to Shakira. She has deals in she has buyers in North Carolina. Have you done deals in North Carolina? So if people are going to send you deals, have you done deals? It's important. I want everyone to know when you're JVing with somebody, them saying they have buyers and them saying that they've actually sold deals to buyers are completely different things. Now, nothing bad about her. I'm just saying, like, I just get this all the time. Like, Zach, I have buyers. Well, have you ever sold deals to buyers?
Guys, it's important to be truthful, because if you start off with a big fat lie, it's not going to make a great relationship. So even if you haven't done a deal, tell them about how you can help them out. And like you will do anything to get the deal done. But like, if you start out with these fake lies that most dispositions companies, I've got nationwide buyers, I've got 50,000 buyers, it's a lie. And people sniff it out. When you guys see those posts in the social media, don't fall for it. It's just a marketing technique that someone's taught them.
Exactly. Let's see here. Paul wants to know if you're offering this as a recording. Yeah, it's going to be recorded. Don't worry for it. So it'd be pretty cool. On the Flipbrick channel, we have our team kind of take some of our live streams, edit them. So it's not like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah. It's cut down to like 30 minutes of like the good stuff. We're trying to post this on the weekends on Flip the Rick. So it's pretty cool. Meet more to offer. Mo to offer says, talking about RJ and Eric Klein. I'll tell you this. I didn't know who Eric Klein was last week, and I was reviewing cold calling videos.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed. He's a very smooth talker. I'll give it to him. I was very impressed how smooth of a talker and tonality. And I was talking about, I was like, that's very cool. The way he closes, I wasn't like, that's not the way I like doing it. But I wanted everyone to like see his tonality. It was very impressive. Yeah. It was a very, very impressive tonality. And then RJ, I think you're talking about RJ Bates. He's not a bad guy either. I have nothing bad against him. I'm talking about this guy that he was like the king of acquisitions. I'm not talking about any of those people, FYI. I think everyone thinks I try to go after people. Those guys, from everything I've seen, aren't fake at all.
I mean, they do the business. They're in the business of selling courses.
I think they do deals. And so I think they're fine.
They do deals.
So I think they're fine. Okay. I have nothing bad about any of those people. And I think they actually legitimately do deals and nothing bad about them. The person I was talking about is this guy who's like claiming to be the king of acquisitions. And it was like really bad. It was you haven't seen it. Yeah. It was really bad. So everyone thinks I'm knocking those guys out. I will tell you this.
It's not.
There's wholesaling gurus out here that I think are complete frauds. And they're those guys like that
don't do
deals.
Now,
do I support the course thing? Probably not. But that Eric guy, he's good on the phones. And so he might sell a phones course or whatever, but like he's good. And so I respect that. That RJ guy, I've seen him on the phones. I respect it, right? Like he closes deals. Like he's not a guy that's like a fraud that doesn't do zero deals. And so I give it to that guy.
You guys know.
So I'll tell you, there's tiers. But like when I'm talking about guru frauds, like I don't think it's him.
Now, people that aren't even legitimately active in the business or doing anything. I think that's who you're talking about.
And there's people that sell courses and then they get sued and then they leave the business and stuff like that. So not talking about that. So just FYI, I think a lot of people think I go after like certain people. I'm like, that person actually does deals. And some of these people you talk about, like I do deals with them. And so Xavier says, question Rick and Zach, if I buy Flipboard Plus, would I be able to do one-on-one? No.
So let me tell you what.
They want your phone number and they want you to call every single day. It's crazy to me.
Like, honestly, Xavier, you could not afford me or Zach a one-on-one. The only person that's going to do one-on-one is someone who doesn't really value their time, and I don't think they're providing a ton of value. One-on-one never has worked in wholesaling. It doesn't work in real estate investing. I've been doing this 21 years. Anybody who offers one-on-one, they never make it, because you give up so much time. You're actually using them as your employee. I would never do one-on-one. It wouldn't even, like, it would have to be 150 grand. And even then I wouldn't want to do it. You got to understand, so what am I going to do? Help out 10 people and then shut down? Because that's about the max capacity you could do on a one-on-one.
So I'll tell you this, we do Zooms and I'm able to talk to individually pretty much everyone once a week. And you can message me in Flipboard Plus and I'll one-on-one text you. I'll one-on-one hop on the Zooms and talk to you. But a lot of people don't like my one-on-ones that I do with them, because I give them a game plan and I say, have you been doing it? No, but I have this. I'm like, no, well, we got to keep on the game plan.
Yeah.
And like, that's my one-on-ones, because that's this business is. But if you want to join Flipboard Plus because you think you're going to get my phone number, we can chit chat like little girls for 2 hours every single day. It ain't going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
You can message me questions. You can hop on the Zooms and talk to me. But the main value of Flipboard Plus is networking with the one-on-ones on the 6-figure wholesalers inside of there that you can work with.
Yeah.
It's the access to us is pretty cool with texting and the Zooms,
live events.
But like, outside of that, like, the only one-on-one you're ever going to get with me is when you see me in person, we can talk. But like,
that's it. You go at the event, you get a little bit of one-on-one. But guys, one-on-one, it doesn't mathematically make sense. Think about this. If Tony Robbins was going to do a one-on-one, he doesn't even want to do it, and he charges $1 million per client for just 30 days. And it's extremely limited. So like, keep it in mind, if you went to school and you had a one-on-one teacher, like, it would be hard to get stuff done. Plus, most people couldn't handle a one-on-one, because I would get frustrated if you didn't do exactly what I told you to do. So the community is great because you make yourself accountable. You get a cost-effective strategy to do it. And you can ask questions with someone looking over your shoulders as you're doing deals. To me, that was what was missing. When I was learning wholesaling, I would have loved to just pick someone's brain when I had a motivated seller or a deal maybe was falling apart. And that's where the real value comes into it. You cannot learn wholesaling in a 30 or 90-day course. Can you make progress? Absolutely. Some do it faster than others, yes. But we all have different markets. We have different learning abilities. Some of us has ADHD. So we all have these different circumstances. So find a community that supports you, that lifts you, that makes sense to you. If it's wholesaling, I think we're the best fit. But ultimately, you got to make that decision.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I get that all the time. It's so funny. So Ralph, I bring a lot of people who are new in Philly to Ralph, because Ralph, he does really good JVing in Philly, and he's a man of his word. But I definitely made plenty of money in this group, and Zach never asked me for a dime. Never.
Shocking.
He does well, though. So I send people, like, because I'm not the biggest guy wholesaling in Philly, so I'll just, hey, talk to this Ralph guy. He'll help you out. And he always closes deals because he's a good guy, and he's a man of his word. It's very hard to find those people. And so, yeah. And it's really nice because, like, Ralph does deals, and if I send him a deal, I know he's not going to steal my deal, but also he's going to let me know, like, hey, you got to be at this price. It's good. No, don't, like, use people. I JV with people like that. But, like, you got to remember, if I'm clearing, $100,000 from a guy to send me 3 or 4 JV deals in a year, and I talk to him maybe 10 hours in the year, that's way better than me selling $100,000 and I have to go on a Zoom with them every single week for a one-on-one. So I kind of hack the wholesaling coaching industry. I'll be like, why don't I just spend 2 or 3 hours with a guy, make $40,000 JVing, then selling a $4,000 program and then doing a Zoom every single week with them.
Yeah.
That sucks. I could never do that. So that's the truth on here. So guys, this business is all about relationships. This business is knowing exactly what type of value you provide in a relationship, because providing value in a relationship is super important. And either in the relationship for a JV, you either provide the deal or you provide the buyer or you provide some marketing. You guys can work together with that. Those are the values you have to bring. And if you can provide that, you can get insanely rich wholesaling houses.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of people talking about this type of method or this type of way of doing deals, but it's going to get more prominent because gurus like stealing the way we do things. That's all, I'm okay with it, but it just does better with everybody. So guys, start networking, and don't do these little chats of like, how are you? Right? Like just legitimately talk to someone, see what they're doing, see how you can help them out. These are quick 20-minute chats, 30 at most. It's not crazy, but it goes down the DMs, message people, let people know who you are. Make a lot of money wholesaling houses. It's a great way that I'm making money, and I'm sharing it with you guys. And I think I should be doing the same thing, right?
Yeah. And so I see comments, you guys making comments. Oh, I bought a course. It didn't work out. Dude, welcome to the club. That's 75% of people in wholesaling. If you want to really learn how to wholesaling, go over to Flip with Rick Plus. It's a community. It's like having someone that you can walk through your deals with, help you with tough questions, and give you support past the 30-day period. And you get to connect with us live twice. And you can do JV deals with us. And if you do that, you can be a member and it doesn't cost you any money. So check it out. But like, don't worry about it. If you screwed up, it's okay. I've done it. Zach's done it. We've all done it. Get the right direction, move forward, focus on wholesaling. To me, it's the greatest skill set you can learn in all of real estate. So we want to help anybody that's willing to put in the work. We want to help you out.
Perfect. So appreciate it, guys. We're going to head on to the extended live stream. So we go for about an extra hour inside of Flip Work Plus. And so we're going to do that right now for an hour, talk to everyone in there. But if not, we will see you soon. So guys, we appreciate it. Tomorrow is going to be the last third part of the creative finance series that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was pretty cool. And so Rick's been dropping those. It's been amazing. So yeah, appreciate it, guys. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, go to freewholesaling.com, and see you soon. Thanks, guys.